Well, hello there, darling. So good to see you. Before we begin, detective, tell me, what is it you truly desire? Oh, so I see my little trick doesn't work on you. Well, detective, we'll just have to find out another way. What is it that you truly desire? Seeing me locked up, I am offended. I've broken no laws whatsoever, detective. I'm completely innocent. You can trust me. I'm the devil. Now, detective, I can see you considering all options of arresting me. You know that you can't simply put me in irons. I'll just break out of them. And yes, there are various supernatural means of putting an end to me, but really, detective, do we have to be so humdrum? Surely we could find a way to work together? Because I think I know who the killer really is. Now, detective, ask yourself, who has motive? Now, I myself could technically be considered to have motive for this poor deceased individual. After all, he did owe me money. But if I killed him, I could hardly collect it, now could I? Plus, it's not like I'm hurting for money. I've been coming to the mortal plane for thousands of years. I think I still have some of those Egyptian gold bars stashed in a very special vault in the Sahara Desert. Just think, Cleopatra. Now that was a girl who knew how to party. The way she ended really bites. But I'm getting away from the story, detective. We need to solve a murder. I could be your partner. I could help you in taking out this terrible murderer. Now, consider this, detective. There were no weapons used in the crime. No knife, no gun. We simply have a corpse. I suspect you've done your fancy chemical analysis. Have you found anything, detective? Tell me, what did you find? Oh, so there was something going on. It wasn't just a bum ticker, they fell over and died. No, 'twas poison. That's what you found out, detective. Very good. I think we could find out who did this together. You know, Cleopatra. Oh, sorry, I'm distracting myself again. Now, what villain do we know that uses poison? Poison Ivy would be one. She does love to give those little smooches. Now, I, of course, as the devil, I am immune to such toxins, and I have succumbed to Pamela's kiss more than once. What about you, detective? Yes, I suspect you've given her a kiss or two in your time. Tell me, detective, is Pamela who you truly desire? No, 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 no. This is more complicated than that, isn't it? You are looking for someone with motive and a knowledge of poison. Because while Poison Ivy is herself poison, literally flowing through her veins, she doesn't really have a reason to do in the poor Clock King. He was just minding his own business. He was just going about his day when suddenly, ooh, dead. That's quite annoying. But I'm sure you will be able to solve it, won't you, detective? Are you worried that you won't be able to? Or are you worried that you can't trust me, Lucifer Morningstar? Come now, detective. You are supposed to be the world's greatest detective. I'm sure you can figure this out. Who else likes to poison? It certainly isn't Killer Croc. The poor man can barely lift a rock over his head without his brains falling out. Yes, it does narrow things down quite a bit. The penguin does occasionally spritz a little poison with his umbrellas. But we know the real culprit, don't we? That's right, Joker. But here's the question. Why did the Joker kill the Clock King? The two hardly seem to know each other. I mean, certainly they must have interacted some in their time at Arkham. Yes, now we get to it, detective. You're wondering why I'm here. Why have I come all the way from the other coast just to help you solve this murder? Well, let's just say I have a slight vested interest in this particular corpse. Fine. I thought you'd want to figure it out yourself. The Clock King was very good at predicting the future. Not really, of course, not like the various psychics that are all over the place doing this little thing and telling you what's going to happen, and then it never quite happens the way you want. No, the Clock King was special. His brain could perfectly predict any set of circumstances as long as he had the right data. Now, if he were to, I don't know, come to hell, I could use an analytical mind like that. It would be very useful for me during the end times. That's right, detective. You see, I have a little spat going with my dad. He and I don't always see eye to eye. And if I had the Clock King, well, then I could predict exactly when Dad was going to throw down the gauntlet and start the end of the world. There's only one problem. Old Clocky here was in his early 40s, going to live several more decades, and we might not have that much time. So what do? Well, the answer's simple. I just needed to encourage a certain killer. So, guilty as charged. I may not be the one who pulled the proverbial trigger, but I am the one who did in old Clocky. Now, I'll just collect this isn't a human soul. Is this an automaton? A robot? You switched them out. How did you know that I was going to have Joker kill the Clock King? That was you. That was you with the eye patch and the matches. You were there when I was offering the Joker a deal. Well, detective, I wish you the very best. Take care of the real Clock King, because he's going to have a devil of a time staying alive. Well. Thank you so much for watching Roleplay Riot. If you've enjoyed this roleplay, subscribe. Consider becoming a Patreon member to help me do more fun cosplays. I'd like to do a Clock King cosplay that's going to be quite fun. But thank you so much for watching. And until then, tell me, what is it you truly desire?